Hello, everyone. My name is Tristan Delgado. I am a Scholas graduate and a graduate of the Software Testing Education Program, which we call STEP. That's why I'm so proud to be here to present Scholas's 2014 Person of the Year Award to the founder of STEP, Mr. Keith Klain. When Keith first came into my class as a guest speaker, I was really struck by his relationship with my instructor, Paul Holland. Even though Keith and Paul are extremely professional software testers, like the best in the world, they talked to each other like they were pals, and I thought that was awesome. I also liked how Keith broke it down for us. He talked about the struggles we'd be facing being interlevel software testers. And he said not to be too concerned because we had support from him. We had Paul, we had mentors, we had Scholas. I got a vibe that Keith not only wanted to see the program succeed, he wanted to see the students succeed in the long run. And later, when I met Keith personally, I saw just how true that was. The first time we really talked, he asked me how I felt about STEP and about my job. I told him some things I was concerned about. And he assured me that I was on the right track with how I was approaching the situation. But I didn't have a mentor at that point. He was like, oh man, we totally got to fix that. I got home later that night and found a message on my LinkedIn from Keith saying that he was on it. And by the end of the week, I had a mentor, Michael Larson, a software tester from the industry who's boss. He writes, teaches, and does a whole lot more than software testing. It was so cool. It was the same when Keith created the STEP program too. He got totally in the trenches. He basically set up a second office at Scholas, but don't tell his employer I said that. He designed the curriculum. He rallied top-of-the-class industry professionals from across the world to write it with him. And he made sure that STEP became a signature course at Scholas, which it is. Thanks to Keith, people like James Bach and Paul Holland, and many of you supporters in the room tonight. What's most insane about Keith and this project he started is that it hasn't even been around a whole year yet, and nearly 100 students have already been trained in software testing. More than 100 more will be trained this next year and employed. That means that many more people who are just like me will get a chance to get skills, get awesome jobs, and change their life. When I was a kid, yeah, I was poor, but I had dreams to change that. I wanted to be a pilot, but I had really bad asthma and was in and out of the hospital quite often. And even though by the time I was 18, I had it pretty under control, the Air Force said with my medical history, I would never make it to flight school. I lost that dream, but today I'm working at a job I love, doing back-end telematics-based testing on an enterprise service bus. I'm thriving in a real career I never knew existed before. And it's all because of you, Keith. No wonder we all admire you. You're smart, you're chill, and you don't hold anything back. You work hard, but you make it look easy. Because of you, Scholas graduates will dominate the testing field. Keith, for me, for my STEP classmates, and for every student at Scholas who you've helped, you really are the person of the year, not just this year, but every year. And though we may not be able to fill your shoes, we're all going to be trying to follow in your footsteps. Thank you.
I have remarks prepared. And I'll keep it short, Jess. Thank you very much. I'm extremely honored to receive this award for what really has been a team win. From the mentoring program to the field studies, a lot of people have contributed their time, their tools, their advice to make the software testing education program happen. I just want to take a quick minute to thank those people without whom this program would never started. James Bach and Michael Bolton. James couldn't be here. Michael's in the room tonight. They created the rapid software testing methodology we teach the students. My colleague and friend, Paul Holland, who is the principal trainer for STEP. She can't be here tonight, but my pal, Lorinda Brandon, up in Smart Bear in Boston. Joss Lieberman and Vu Lam from QA Symphony. James Lindsay from Workroom Productions. Peter Shea at UTest, who's here tonight. Thanks, UTest. The Association for Software Testing, Jerome Dazzle and Tiernan Walsh, the kind of back office of the STEP program, and my good friend from Barclays, Jerry Rajesh, tonight. And lastly, I'd like to thank two people without whom none of this would have happened. Joe Squeary, who is the CEO of Citadel, who at the time was the CIO of Barclays, encouraged me to get involved with Scholas. And my wife, Samantha, whose work with the long-term unemployed in the UK actually was the inspiration for the STEP program. And without her enduring patience and seemingly endless suffering, I wouldn't be here today at all. I started work, yes, round of applause for Samantha. I started working with Scholas about a year ago, and in that time, in getting to know the students and the wonderful people that work there, I've spent a lot of time thinking about second chances. And second chances at an education, second chances at a career, and as we've heard tonight, second chances at starting over. Reflecting on my own life and career, I've come to realize that I've been the recipient of more second chances than I've ever deserved. And what I've so often taken for granted is that with every one of those second chances has come an opportunity. And not just an opportunity to learn from my mistakes or do things differently, but an opportunity to prove that I could do the work. And that's the reason that STEP and I think Scholas really works. Because that with every second chance these programs provide, the students get an opportunity to show what they can do. Working with Scholas has been an unbelievable experience, and in many regards, the STEP program has been a greater success than I ever initially imagined. And we're really only getting starting. And I sincerely thank my friend Plinio and Angie at the Scholas for this recognition tonight, but most importantly, for doing what you do best and seeing the second chance in me. Thank you.